So welcome to East Academia. My name is Brian, and today I'm going to talk about the WriteALL academics order details. And in this WriteALL academics order details, I'm going to show you how exactly the table of order, or how an order is received and how it looks like when it's received by you from WriteALL academics. So I'm going to use this one here, order ID 104089-Fridays, as an illustration to tell you what exactly it is, and the order number and the account that is being used. Now, in this case, we realize that the order number is 104890, and then this hyphen Fridays. Basically, Fridays is the name of the account that this order came from. Now, realize that these orders can come from different accounts. So that's why according to the WriteALL academics invoice, you have it has different account names down there. Those tabs, you have Fridays, you have Nougat, you have Cupcake, you have Lollipop, you have Apple One. So there are different types of accounts that are available there. So the thing is, you have to understand this entire thing, or how this order looks like and how it comes in what form, so that you really don't have to overlook anything when it reaches the time for you to analyze this order, or you don't miss out anything. Now, normally the order usually comes in form of an email. As you can see, this is an email. And we are having an order that is written here, order ID / Fridays. So I'll just open that email, and this is how it looks. And clearly you can see, when you look here, you can see the time at which this order was sent. It was sent to this guy at 3 minutes ago. And when you look clearly, you have the order ID hash. So these are the real order details. Like, this is the name of the order, or the order that is going to be identified. Yeah. And then here we have Fridays. Fridays, this is the name of the account that this order came from. So like I said, there are different accounts. You can have Nougat, you can have Cupcake. So this name here basically is likely to change from order to order, the ones that you receive. That is if you're working for different accounts. Now, this table basically is what is there that is required. And usually this table has the title, okay, business analysis report. Now, in this case, this title is the title that the client provides for this work, okay. So if it is business analysis report, then you just have to write the title in your paper as business analysis report. But we usually like people to write exact details, okay. So like for this one, I think it's about a certain company known as Danone company, okay. So when you are writing the title, you can write business analysis report for Danone company, something of that kind. So you can write there for Danone company. So I'll just write a business analysis report for Danone company, something of that kind. Danone company. So this one, when you just write this like that, you've deviated from having a generic title. Generic is that general title. Business analysis report for what? All right, for Danone company, right? You become very specific. Now, sometimes you can have a client writing here, not sure. Okay. So you've written here the title, the client has written not sure. So this does not mean that when you're submitting your paper, you write the title there like not sure. You won't be making any sense. Okay. Because if I can come to that title that I was writing here, these titles usually come somewhere here. The advantages of technology, they come somewhere here. So imagine you write for us here, not sure. You realize that you're not making any sense, yeah? So if it is not sure, what it means is that it is you as a writer now who will decide what to write as the title. So for example, it was about lactating mothers. And maybe the client had not gone through the order details and understand that this was about lactating mothers. So it will be a duty for you to say, maybe the title is lactating, an analysis, okay, an investigation, something of that kind, an investigation on lactating mothers, mothers. So something of that kind, yeah. So you avoid very generic titles, and you have a title that is specific. And if it is APA, you remember that this title has to be repeated in the second page. So this page here, it should be the exact title. All right. So an investigation on lactating mothers. So it is very specific. Now, sometimes people can have a title that this place has been written a title like PowerPoint presentation. Don't come here and put something like PowerPoint presentation. Give us the exact title of that PowerPoint presentation. Maybe it was about Nike. So you just have to write there, Nike, okay? So be very careful about the title, and don't write a title that is extremely off from what the client had expected, yeah? So be very careful about that when you're writing the titles. Now, that was about the title. Don't write generic titles. Please avoid at all cost generic titles. Just write very specific titles. Now, type of service. Type of service can be writing. The other type of service that I've seen here is that you can have something like editing. You can have editing. You can have proofreading. You can have, there are so many, okay? You can have sometimes article writing. So it really varies, yeah? It varies. Now, assignment type, dissertational chapters. Yeah, sometimes it can be dissertation. Sometimes you can have something like a business plan here. So I'll just write B plan. But of course, when the order comes, it will have something like business plan. And then field of study can have business finance. You can have medical. You can have health sciences. You can have engineering. You can have whichever. Project level, you can have college student, college senior, masters, PhD, yeah, undergraduate, something of that kind. All right. Page count, now this one can be, it ranges from 1 to whatever number it can be, okay? For this one, it was 29 pages. Line spacing, this one, it can be double or single, or sometimes you can have something like 1.5 line spacing, okay? Now, if you're told 29 pages double spaced, this means you're going to write a total of 29 pages. But if it is 29 single spaced, when this place has been written single spaced, that means that one page is no longer 300 words. One page now will be one page. Let me just write here. One page single spaced is 600 words. Is 600 words. So you have to be careful, especially this place that has been written line spacing. Okay, and when it is 1.5, you do the same thing. You come and say that if one page with with single spaced, okay, is 300 words. What about one page? Yeah, with a line spacing of 1.5 with the line, okay, let's start with 2. With a line spacing of 2 is going to be 600 words, isn't it? What about one page with a line spacing of 1.5? It's going to be in between, isn't it? So 300, it will be around 450 words, something of that kind. And what you do, you just write the entire paper, like write 600 words, and then you single space it. I'll show you how to single space when I'll make that video concerning using templates. Yeah. So you can write double spaced work, single spaced work, 1.5, but normally the most common ones it's double spaced and single spaced. Yeah. So when you watch the video, there's a video that is going to be dedicated on how to write work that is double spaced and work that is single spaced to avoid a lot of confusion. Now, format can be Harvard, it can be APA, it can be MLA, it can be Chicago, it can be Chicago. By the way, is synonymous with the one that is known as Turabian, because this is the author that wrote that Chicago Manual of Styles, and it's usually written as Chicago Manual of Styles, CMOS. Okay, so Chicago Manual of Styles, Turabian, and CMOS, basically it's one and the same thing. So when you see those things, they mean they are quite synonymous. Okay, they can be used interchangeably. Yeah. APA, MLA, Harvard. We have other one known as IEEE. You can have a style like IEEE. You can also have another style like which one exactly? Yeah. Okay. There's one that is known as American Medical Association. Yeah. And then we have the one for chemistry. I think it is American Chemistry Association, something of that kind. I'm not so sure about that one though. And then you can have another style that is Oscola. I think it's called Oscola, something like that. Oscola. Yeah, this one is mostly for law. Okay, so people who are doing law are the ones that use this Oscola mostly. And then so many styles. So they keep on varying. And then when it comes to the sources, 19 sources. So usually these sources, I'll talk about sources. Sometimes the client has provided some specific sources. Sometimes the client has provided some specific sources to be used. So in which case you are only allowed to use those specific sources that the client has provided. Okay, but you can sometimes also you can have a situation whereby the client has not provided specific sources to use. So then that situation you are very free to use whatever sources that are there. When we talk about sources, we like to you guys to use mostly journal articles. After journal articles, you use books. After books, you use reputable websites. I'll write here reputable websites. So it goes like that in order. Okay, websites. Of course, you can use something like someone else's dissertation or something of that kind. Yeah, so all those are sources that are accepted, and you have to cite them or reference them in an appropriate way that is acceptable. Okay, so sometimes, but if you use journal articles, these are the best types of sources you can use. Yeah, followed by books. When it comes to website, there are very few reputable websites. That's a warning that I can give you. And some reputable websites are websites like for the World Health Organization, WHO, United Nations. Maybe, for example, if you are talking about a company, now you're using the website of a company. So that one is a little bit, so a company website. So a company website, that one is a little bit acceptable. That one is acceptable because if you're talking about Nike and you put there www.nike.com, then that one is all acceptable. And then now sources. So this number that has been put here, this is the minimum number that you're supposed to have. So if you have 19 sources, you cannot write 18 sources. It's not acceptable. You cannot write 17. You can't write 15. But you are allowed to write 20, 21 going upwards, okay? Because having more sources or having more references and citation, that one isn't an issue per se. So when it comes to the sources that you use, make sure you use reputable sources and you use the number of sources that are there. Sometimes when it comes to sources, you can realize maybe the client has written for you zero sources. So in that case, the client maybe does not need that reference page. So in which case, in that case, then this reference page, you might, if you don't use sources, you don't leave that title reference there. You have to come and omit this page, okay? So these references you'll have and delete it. That is if you want to use a source. But if you use any source, you can put a source there. Yeah, so this one cannot delete because of this page break. So you have to delete that page break and delete this extra line here. So in that case, now this paper now has 0 sources. So don't have that reference page if you are having 0 sources. But if at all it's 0 sources and you've used the source, you can put there 1 source for references. Yeah. Now sometimes you've been given maybe something like dissertation methodology, and usually we realize that the methodology page does not have sources. Yeah. So in that case, it is so unnecessary for you to put a reference or a citation there. Okay. So don't put that source. Okay. Don't put any source in that case. Paper size unspecified. Normally this one you don't have an issue with them, but usually we write on A4, and usually the margins is the normal one. Okay. A4 and the margin is the normal one. So the paper layout basically it's just like that. If you come to Microsoft Word, you come to realize it's usually available here. You come to layout, you come to margins, you come to normal. So that's the paper size that is normally used. Sometimes if you have another one, if it changes, then we might discuss, but I've never experienced that changing. Spellings, if it's unspecified, you use American English, okay? So that one you will set Grammarly to America, but sometimes American English. But sometimes it can be specified that you use maybe Britain or UK English, Australian English, Canadian English. So in which case you are going to set your Grammarly as appropriate. So where to set Grammarly, that whatever type of English that we're using, I'll just try and open Grammarly here, so that I can show you the types of English that are available. So what you do, you just write your work normally. Just write with whatever English that are used with. Normally in Kenya we are used to using the British English. But when you write and you upload that work to Grammarly, be sure to put it. So I'll just open this one. So if I open this one, there's a place I'm going to show you how you are going to change the language for the Grammarly, and the document itself is going to detect. It's going to detect. So here, when you open it, you come here to this tab, and then you come to language preference, and you can choose American, British, Australian, or Canadian. But the default is the American English. Okay. Yeah. So the default is the American English. So yeah, we proceed. So I will proceed. I will come here to the deadline. So the deadline is very specific because as you can see, email when you submit, it's going to tell you that it is 12:21. So when you submit the work, you are going to get it. It's going to indicate that whether you met the deadline or not. And the email is so good because it's going to remove any types of any types of confrontation. If, for example, the writer is insisting that they submitted the work in time, and when you look from our reports, the work was not submitted in time, then it becomes very easy to solve that dispute because it's indicated right there. Okay, so always be sure to check the deadline. I've had a situation where somebody confused this deadline with something else, but usually the format that is used there in time is the 24-hour format to avoid any type of confusion. Okay. So always check the date and the deadline and make sure if it's supposed to be 6th, make sure this one is going to be submitted tomorrow. Okay, or whatever date, whichever. Total cost 8,700. Yeah. So the total cost is always put here. Okay, total cost is always put here. For the assignment type here, you can have something like PowerPoint or PowerPoint with speaker notes. If it is PowerPoint with speaker notes, as usual, if you have read the WriteALL academics rules and regulations, you realize that The PowerPoint itself will be around 100 to 120 words, and then the speaker notes will be around 200 words, okay? So that it becomes a single page. So one slide, the slide 100 words, and the speaker notes with around 200 words. And usually the slide contains something that is summarized, then the speaker notes contains a more elaborate content of what is in the slides. So that is what you are supposed to have. So there will be a video to show you how to design PowerPoints here at WriteALL Academics, and how to make the PowerPoints colorful and all that. So you have not to worry about that. So for the paper details, this point here contains instructions, okay? So it contains instructions. So you have to read these instructions and understand them well, okay? So be sure that you read and take note of the small aspects that you can easily overlook when you're reading these instructions. And most of these instructions are, this is just usually a summary of the instructions, and most of them are contained in these attachments. So for the attachments, you just download them. So this one, it can be a Word document, it can be an image, it can be a PDF, or it can be a zipped file like this one, in which case you will have to unzip it, okay? If you have Windows 10, it's very easy to unzip it. If you don't have Windows 10, you can use WinRAR to unzip, okay? Now, once you receive an order like this, you have to send an acknowledgement, whether you are able to do it or you're not able to do it, usually within the first 15 minutes that you receive this order. So if it has been sent to you, you come here. If you've checked the requirements, like this one, I've downloaded the zipped file, and let me just open and see. I go through all these files and look what is inside and the order requirements and everything, okay? And I look at what has been done here. Yeah, so I will check and look, and if I see something I can do, if I see something I can do, then I can easily come here and say I accept the assignment. So you just click that and send. By saying you accept the assignment, this one basically is you committing that you're going to submit this work within the stipulated deadline of this order. So if you accept the assignment, once you do the assignment and you're done, you just come and reply and attach your work. So for example, the solution that I'm having contains this ones, just attach, just highlight all of them, I'll control. So what you do, you just click one and then press control and select these other ones that you want to attach, and submit them. So I'll just attach them there as the attachment and reload, and that's how I'm submitting the work. So you maintain, okay? You maintain that thread. You don't have to open another thread, because these files are basically for this type of whatever. These files as for this type of order, so you maintain. And if there'll be any issue or any communication concerning this order, it's going to be maintained within this thread. So, like I was saying, you have to maintain that connection. You have to maintain that. You have to maintain that communication within the same thread. Okay. So, like for instance, if you have a problem concerning, so you submitted the attachments, and maybe, for instance, you have a problem concerning the order, and you really want to get some assistance. So usually we tell people to pretend as though they are the people, they're asking direct to the client. Okay, so don't address any of these messages or emails that you write to the whatever, to the reviewers, because for them, they will just want to copy paste that message. Okay, they want to copy paste that message, and for the client, okay, the account. So don't give them a hard time trying to compose messages. It's not their duty to compose a message. In any case, if you try to explain to them, and you tell them to compose a message for you, they're likely to write a message that omits some important details that you would have liked to whatever to ask. Okay. So an example of a complaint or a message that has been written to a writer wrote to 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 that the same order detail. So you reply to the same email. So just reply. You press just reply, and you're told, and you write there, "Hello dear, I have gone through the assignment instructions severally. However, I would like to ask for clarification." You use first person like it's me. Don't say we. I would like to ask for clarification if the page count could be raised from 2 pages to 3 pages to answer the question satisfactorily. Am I supposed to use only these sources, or you are going to provide the company data for Danone's essay? Now, be very careful with your grammar when you're writing. Make sure you proofread it and understand, and make sure that you use as minimum words as possible. Most of these clients, when you write for them large paragraphs, they panic and they start questioning your competence when it comes to delivering that work. So be straight to the point, very simple English, okay? Very grammatical correct, all right? Very well punctuated, because you realize even a single punctuation can change the meaning of a sentence, yeah? So you have to be careful. So then you just reply, okay? You just take that message and reply it to that email, okay? So what usually happens then when you send that acknowledgement that you accept the order? When you accept an order and say that I accept the assignment, you should receive an acknowledgement from WriteALL Academics telling you that you can proceed with the work. Otherwise, if you proceed with the work without receiving this acknowledgement, you might end up doing work that maybe has been assigned to someone else, maybe because you had a slow response. All right? So it is always advisable that you respond within the appropriate time, and do not start work. Do not start working on an order until WriteALL Academics gives you this feedback here. Okay? So WriteALL Academics will tell you, acknowledged, you may proceed with the assignment, all the best. So you can say thanks a lot, something of that kind, or you can choose not to respond and respond with the whatever, with the solution, okay? Because that is what is needed. And as usual, you have to submit 2 documents, the work itself and the corresponding Turnitin report. Make sure before you submit that work, you passed that work through Grammarly severally, okay? And make sure that there is nothing there that can be can be can be doubted, okay? So notice how this email is keeping records of the time of submission and the time of responses, okay? So this work was sent like 36 minutes ago, and you're given an acknowledgement this time. So it's really very efficient, because it can weed out unnecessary complaints that people sometimes have, especially writers, yeah? Yeah. So once you are told acknowledge, you may proceed with the assignment, all the best, then that's where you proceed, okay? Now, Grammarly and Turnitin, as usual, those ones are, you can easily get them, all right? So it is all a matter of you being very careful with what you do and liking what you do. But I believe this sense of orderliness can really avoid a lot of problems, yeah? Can really avoid a lot of problems. So if you have any revision that comes even 10 days later, it's going to be directed just to this email, okay? So you're going to be told the customer has placed maybe new instructions and they want you to check. Then you look and you see what the client wants, if it's an out of scope revision or it is an in scope revision. Difference is an out of scope revision, these are revision that you're doing, and the client had not put those instructions earlier, so that revision will be paid. And if it is a revision for you uh, not following the initial order instructions, then that is an in-scope revision, which is usually a free revision. And usually advise our writers always to have revisions that are paid. There's no need for you to have a revision that does not really bring anything to the table. Okay. So you maintain the order thread. Okay. This email. So everything concerning that email should be maintained within one one email thread. Okay, I have a problem with the thread or thread, but I'm talking of a thread. I think that's the spelling, yeah. So that's it. So you maintain, and as you can see, it keeps the records. The email keeps the record that it's between you, WriteALL Academics, and me as Mantiti, and we have a conversation of 6. And these are the attachments that we've been communicating with. Okay, so you respond, you reply to that email. Just reply. The power of this thing is to reply. If anything if it concerns another email, you just respond to another order, just respond to another order. And if at all it has been a long time and this order cannot be seen, when you just come and search with the order number here, it will easily be singled out for you with the email. Okay, so you can see that it is here. The order was this one. This one didn't respond to it, but I responded to this one. So this is what I did. These are the submissions that I submitted, blah blah blah. Then you can always review to check what exactly happened, what the order was all about, yeah, and all that. So that one is usually easy. Now I will demonstrate to you how to do the invoice when it comes to this. An invoice for the tutor here. I made a mistake, but there's no problem. Let me just duplicate it and let me just go back. So I'm opening the invoice for the tutor and show you how easy it is to fill that invoice. Okay, to fill that invoice. Now, for example, let me just delete these ones. For example, assuming we're having an issue like this one, just put it where, okay. Edit in full screen. I want this one to leave. Okay, it's left. So, assuming now you're supposed to fill the invoice concerning this order, okay, and maybe it was done somewhere here. So let me just delete these ones and show you how easy it is to fill the invoice with the email. It's very easy, by the way, so I don't see why guys usually sometimes they struggle a lot. Yeah, so for this one, this is the email, and maybe this is the period of the invoice. It's correct and everything you've confirmed. Maybe this time around you had done those 2 orders, then now this is the 3rd one, so just put there 3. And then for the date, of course, when you come here to this order, there is a date that was placed here. Okay, like for this one, it will always tell you the date. It's only that this one is for today, so that's why it's written here today. But you can easily check the date of today, and you see it's 6th Saturday, June 5th June, isn't it? And you place it accordingly. So you can come there, or even you can take the day that it was due. It really. Sometimes you can just copy even that date. It should be the right date, and you come. But for the sake of orderliness, I think this one will have an issue. So I usually like dates that are very uniform. Huh? So let me say today is 5th. I'll just write it out anyway. 05-06, so that it becomes orderly. Then for the order number for this one, I think I just like to maintain uniformity. Yeah, I'll just put there like that. For the order number, what I will do with the order number, I'll just come to my email and copy this order number here. And by that time, I'll make sure that I'm writing these things under Freddy's. Okay, under Freddy's. If I realize that, oh, this is not Freddy's, this is Apple One, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a tab for Freddy's. Okay, so I will duplicate that tab, copy of Nougat, then I will rename it. and I'll call it Freddy's, because it's a new account. Then I'll make sure whatever was written here, because this was not the original ones, they are not for this account, I will just delete them. And I will edit that first one only. Period of the invoice, then I'll check. It's supposed to be 28th 05 2022. No, it's June. It's supposed to be 05, and then now to 14th 06 06 2022, something of that kind. And then for the order number, okay, let's say the date. I will copy the date. Let me just. Okay, the thing is, you just be uniform, yeah. So I will just come here, copy the date, and I'll maintain this kind of date, yeah. Whatever really matters is uniformity. So since this is the first one, I'll just put there like that. And then the order number, I'll just come and copy here, 104089. It's Freddy's, so I've confirmed that I'm writing it under Freddy's. Yeah, it's under Freddy's. Yeah, it's under Freddy's. And then for the title, Dissertation, the Mechanics of Inverted Pendulum. For the title, I'll just copy here, Business Analysis Report. It should be a Business Analysis Report. So I will highlight that and paste that Business Analysis Report. And then I think this one was supposed to be something like the pages, yeah? There's an issue, the invoice, this particular one. So it was supposed to be 29 pages. The CPP was 300. There's something missing up there. And then it was 8,700 shillings, yeah? Then the comments, you can decide to leave or that, something of that kind. So you can see how it is, how easy it is. Now, usually some accounts become active after some time. Maybe that account was suspended or something of any kind. So if an account usually is suspended, you don't expect you to delete that tab for that account. What you do, like if Apple One is no longer in existence, you just change its color into black. So Apple One will be black. Lollipop, if it's not in existence anymore, you change its color to black as well. The ones that are active, you maintain them while being green. Okay, so these ones should be green. Maybe Nougat is also active, or Nougat is not active, so you change it to black. And the active account, you can drag it to that side, right? You drag that active account on that side so that it is easy for you to access it, yeah? So these ones, these black ones, these black accounts, these ones are, you'll know they're inactive, but there's no need for you to delete them. So, because here you can accommodate so many accounts. Then if you want to download your invoice, although you're not supposed to send it in Excel, just fill it online and you are able to access it. So you can download it as an Excel file. And you will be able to see how it looks, okay? We should be able to see how those tabs look when it comes to the downloaded version of that invoice. So you can see how the issue of the email, the issue of this invoice, they completely integrate to make this system very easy for us to use, okay? Yeah, so you can see even when you download it, the other accounts that are not active, they're in black. Yeah, they're in black. So when you come, but they're there for the case of for the record, yeah. So you can always shift those tabs into Freddy's, Nougat, and see how you've been doing and all that, and even create graphs if you want. So this is about WriteALL Academics email and replying to that email and how you can supposed to maintain thread and how that email can assist you as well in filling the invoice, so that the invoice can be very easy for you to fill. So sometimes you can have that file is very big for you to upload. So you can either upload it on the drive and share that link as a link in the drive. There's a video that is going to show you how to share large files, because remember, this email cannot send more than 25 MBs, 25 megabytes. But sometimes you can have some megabytes. Sometimes you can have files that are very big, greater than 25 MBs, and you have to share. Whether it's a document you've written and all that, so you really have to upload it to the drive and send a link so that it can easily be downloadable. Okay, yeah. So basically, that is it concerning the WriteALL orders, how orders are sent, and the order details box. And I am pleased that you've really gotten this orientation, and you will maintain this thing, okay? So you have to maintain that thread for that particular order. Next time you'll be given an order, maybe it's coming from Eclair, so it will be order ID hash dash Eclair, order ID dash lollipop, order ID dash nougat. So if you watch this video, you watch that video for the whatever, for the invoice, then I don't think if you have a problem with WriteALL Academics, working with WriteALL Academics as a freelancer. So that is about, and usually that is the thing that we're talking about, and usually that is what is required of you. So find time and understand these things, and if at all you get any challenges anyway, you should be able to contact us. But I put all the problems concerning that particular order in one thread, so that way there'll be no problem. So thank you and have a nice time. So I really appreciate you watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video. So thank you and have a nice time. Thank you.